They aren't old enough to remember the days when there were horse-drawn vehicles in the streets and television was in black and white. But some connoisseurs say that commercials were never more colorful.
What's this crazy thing? Why, it's the Whammo Water Wiggle. You've never seen anything like it. Just a hose and look, a new fun game. It's practically alive. You never know what the Water Wiggle will do next. It's safe and playful. Kids love it, teeners too. It's wild. Play Sea Serpent in any pool. Cool, splashing fun. The Water Wiggle may pop up anywhere. Keep cool this summer with the Water Wiggle at toy, drug, and department stores.
When you wake up in the morning, is your lower digestive tract still sluggish due to temporary irregularity? Then you should know Carter's Pills provide you with the gentle, effective, temporary relief you want to wake up your lower digestive tract. So you can start the day off feeling great without that sluggish, headachy, nervous feeling due to irregularity. Carter's gives you gentle, effective, temporary relief from irregularity to wake up your lower digestive tract. Get Carter's Pills.
Hey, Romeo, 10 minutes to curtains.
I'll have to use his hair cream to smooth it down.
Your leading lady's not gonna like the greasy look from that white cream.
Is there any other way?
You bet. Don't move. Try my hair cream, Score. It's brand new and it's clear.
Clear white. What's the difference?
Difference? Your white cream feels greasy. Looks greasy. Now, clear Score. Look.
You can see clear through it.
So there's no greasy look. Now, they both keep your hair down. Which do you want on your hair?
Easy choice, Professor. This one.
Say, she really threw herself into that scene.
What would you expect, Professor, when a guy knows his score? Hair cream.
Clearly knows his score.
And now, it's time to meet our studio guest. He's a man who's been called many things. For some years, he was called Dwight D. Eisenhower. But that was a mistake. Then he was called Michelle Pfeiffer, but the clothes didn't fit. After he married Dawn French, he was often called Darling, as in, Darling, it's your turn to do the washing up. He's also been called originally talented, toweringly original, revolutionary, originally toweringly revolutionary, and tall. But he's always been called back for more because he's really called Lenny Henry. It's nothing really. Lenny, can you relate to the problems voiced in that Carter's Little Liver Pill?
The Carter's Little Pill? Well, I'm sorry, I don't understand it at all. What are they talking about, lower digestive tract? What do they mean? I mean, they're talking about bum holes, really, Clive. I mean, these are bum pills, aren't they? I mean, let's get to the point. Stop pussyfooting around. If that was in Australia, I bet the guy would have come in and gone, "Hi, how you doing? Having problems with your butt? Use these bum pills today. I'll bloody sort you out." What are they talking about? It's so coy.
Temporary irregularity, it sounds.
Yes, it does. It sounds like you've slept with a hedgehog or something. This is highly irregular. Hope it's not pregnant.
What about Score? You wish Score was around today?
Well, I don't know, you know. The thing I didn't like about that advert is, you know, what makes you think I'm going to take fashion tips from somebody who looks like Kenneth Baker? You know, and couldn't they call it something a bit more subtle, like, get off with chicks? Pull birds better. Use Score. And I think, did you see the way it looked, that skin? It looked well dodgy, didn't it? I mean, there was a definite confusion of products. To me, it looked like something that would help better with your lower digestive tract. Put it on a pencil, you know. And I don't feel nervous and irregular anymore.
You have to admit that the Water Wiggle looked like hours of fun.
45 seconds tops, Clive. What on earth were they thinking of? I think it was a good idea for them to drown their kids standing up, don't you? It looked like bloody murder. The first thing I said when I saw it was, "You're not giving me an enema with that thing." Absolutely unreal. Did you see the postman? That was hilarious. It was I'm really frightened. Do I get my money now?
It probably got, after kids played with it for about a minute, it got thrown into the back of this shed.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine those poor kids watching that on television at Christmas and going, "Mummy, Mummy, please, don't buy me that thing. It's Disgusting.
Well, I've noticed on television that they've been flogging the new crop of Christmas toys for weeks now.
Yes, and how? The worst one is My Little Pony. I mean, they've got a My Little Pony school now. Well, what does a horse want with a bloody school? My Little Pony school complete with backboard. How's he going to hold the chalk in his hooves, Clive? I mean, I don't understand it. There were no bloody horses at my school when I was a kid. Lenny, this is Dobbin. He'll be sitting next to you. It's pathetic. He's way ahead of you in algebra. Yeah, Dobbin, you bastard. What's the square root of 9?
You know a lot about children's television. You're a veteran of children's TV. Would you have stepped into the ring with Rags the Kangaroo?
No way! That was psychotic! There's no way. I mean, let's face it, Rags the Kangaroo is Australia's answer to Jeremy Paxman. He is, isn't he? I mean, I wouldn't have gone anywhere. I would have been at home watching from behind the sofa going, I'm glad that's not bloody me. God, horrible.
Very, very gung-ho presenter.
Completely. I mean, there's something about live television that make you... Because I've done live children's television, and you just think, well, you know, I can't... The show must go on, I've got to carry on, and you just charge on, you know. I mean, I used to be there, you know, knee-deep in freezing cold water or snot or something. And Chris Downs used to produce Tiswas and be like this, going... You thought it was hilarious.
Were you on Rags' side or Marty the Monster's?
Definitely Rags' side. Marty knew what was going on. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but Rags was the one. Actually, it's funny enough that they've put Rags' name down as Frank Bruno's next opponent. Did you know? He'd be tougher than that Dutch bloke, wouldn't he? Well, I would have hit him, Harry, but he kept moving around the ring, you know. I didn't know where to go, Harry.
But I imagine they were winding Rags up, but you can imagine the producer behind the scenes having a coronary watching that.
No. I've been in children's television. I've seen the scars, Clive. He would have been rubbing his hands with bloody glee. You know, I mean, he probably gave Rags about 8 pounds of angel dust before he went on. Go on, Marty, have a good time. There must have been aphrodisiac in that bread, don't you think? Have some more bread, Rags. I love you, Marty.
Do you think the kids appreciate the personal danger involved?
No, I don't think they give a bugger, actually. I think they were sitting there going, God, it would have been great if he'd ripped his head off, wouldn't it? Rip his arms off, Rags. Put him over there with a sticky end.
But Tiswas catered more for 40-year-olds than for 4-year-olds.
Well, it was more unintentional with us. I mean, we didn't really know who was watching. We just ended up being adult anyway. I remember one time we had this gymnastic girl on. She was about 18 years old. And she was doing what they call the crab, you know, when you kind of have to bend over backwards and point your middle bits up in the air. And there was just some guy hanging around behind the camera and he just shouted, "Sitting duck for a deviant," you know. We were like... And now here's Spit the Dog. Absolutely frightening.
Lenny, why do you do television?
Well, I just think it's so nice to be able to look at yourself. You know, it's like a gigantic mirror, isn't it? You know. It is. You know, sometimes I spend all evening licking the screen. You know, I get very turned on by it. One time when I was doing Delbert, I was humping the television and shot myself across the living room. It was quite a bizarre thing. It's a narcissistic thing, Clive. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about love TV. You know, the greatest love a man can have is to love himself, and I bend over backwards to try and love myself. I think you know what I'm talking about. In fact, I think if I could love myself, I'd never leave the house, Clive. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-love.
There are reliable reports that people are making love during television commercial breaks. Do commercials light your fire in this regard?
I don't know who would brag about this. A commercial break is like 90 seconds long. This is not a good commercial for British manhood, is it? You know, I really beat the wife last night. I finished way before her. I mean, I'll tell you what, I was at work by the time she finished. I'll tell you what, you just wouldn't brag about something like that, would you? And what about those people whose marriages, you know, what about those people who are married who tune on into BBC One? What's going to happen to them? You know, go on, love, turn over.
Do you think that this show on the whole is unfair to British Rail when we criticise its performance?
Well, I think British Rail deserve as much of a kicking as they can get, really, because some of the excuses they come up with, you know, sorry about the Southern Line, suddenly it's been diverted to Antarctica. They went into the third dimension of Zargo, or, you know, the driver just happened to have an out-of-body experience and we don't know where he is, he never came back to his body. Or, well, we've just had a diversion to the lost city of Atlantis and we'll be taking on some sharks and some glee fish and we'll be with you just as soon as we come back. And, oh, well, there was a speck of leaf mould on the track. And our engineers have got a microscope out and we'll be removing it with some pliers, you know.
Are the Del Rubio triplets your thing, or are you more into modern stuff?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Del Rubios are more entertaining than the new Michael Jackson video. Have you seen it? It's completely bizarre. What happens is Michael's on at the beginning with these African guys, with the spears and the shields and everything, and they're all dancing. They were probably looking at him saying, who is this crazy white guy? Hasn't he? I mean, in the Thriller video, he had the little sticky tape on his fingers, and then later on in the Beat It video, he had like a whole bandage on his... And now he's got like a surgical thing on from here to here. What's bloody next? An iron lung, you know? Louder, Michael, we can't hear you. And then at the end of the video, he turns into a Black Panther. I'm sorry, Michael, I'm not impressed. You know, if you turn back into a normal black guy, then I'll be impressed. I like that. I've been seeing a lot of black footballers on the television recently. That's what being a media watcher myself, I love to watch like Crystal Palace because they have like 3 or 4. One day there's going to be like a whole football team of black players, and the crowd are going to have to re-educate themselves, aren't they? You know, because like if there's a great header or something, the crowd are going to have to, instead of going hooray, they're going to have to go easy, my friend. You know, if somebody scores a goal, they'll have to go respect. Can I stand up and do this? If they,
yes. Yeah.
The new when the black players take the penalties now, it's going to be dead cool. They're going to walk out, and instead of just running up, they're going to be going like, hey! The goalkeeper going, where's he going? Where's he going? I don't know what happened, boss. He did some James Brown stuff, and I was lost.
Football's sort of your thing, isn't it? Your actual...
Yes, I'm a big... when I was in Dudley, I used to play football all the time against these old crones. They're all like 30 years old, but when we were kids, we were we'll play the old men on the park, we'll put our jumpers down as goalposts and we'll stick you. And we used to kick them up in the air. They really enjoyed it. Go back on a Monday going, bloody kids. We used to have a great game. We used to set our goalposts up in front of the park bench where the old age pensioners used to sit. It was brilliant. It was like Skittles, you know. You get 10 points for each one, they'll be like... But hey, I'm not here to bash the old folks.
Do you think it's time for the Del Rubios to hang up their go-go boots?
Not at all. I think they've got to keep going. To me, they were like the Beverly Sisters on crack. I was a bit worried about the hot pants, though, weren't you? I mean, you know, if they wander through a winter wonderland dressed like that, they'd drop dead with hypothermia. I mean, I think they've got to set an example to the old folk of America. It looked to me like a horrible ploy by President Bush to kind of kill off the old folk, you know, cut down on the welfare payments. Now, come on, folks, it's winter time. Put on your hot pants. Not you, Barbara, not you.
Actually, the Del Rubios are fantastically popular on what we might loosely call the geriatric circuit. Do you think a pensioner's a good audience?
No, definitely not. I mean, they just sit there. I mean, I've done Pebble Mill, actually. I've seen more... Been on Pebble Mill at 1. They drag the audiences out of the Derby and Joan Club and the Golden Age Club screaming and just sit them down, and they're there like this while Public Enemy or some rap group are going, the white man is dead! You know, they're sitting there with their Deaf Aid tuned to Radio 4, you know, crocheting, you know. Gumming a digestive, yeah. Occasionally looking to where the action is and going, oh.
Lenny, it's been education talking to you. We have to stop there. Thank you very much, Lenny Henry.